Senate committee on how to curb Islamist radicalization in Canada. One of the more contentious Senate recommendations suggests training and certification of imams here in Canada. Ihsaan Gardee is the executive director of the National Council of Canadian Muslims. Hi, Ihsaan. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me on, Lucy.
So before we talk about this specific recommendation, you've read the report. What's your overall impression of it?
My overall impression, Lucy, is this is a missed opportunity, and we have some serious concerns and reservations about this report, which really could have provided some guidance and real solutions, robust ones that are community-based, to addressing this issue of radicalization towards criminal violence, and that was missed.
So, I mean, one of the things that the Senate committee said and recommends is that imams, who are very influential in the Muslim community, should be trained and certified. What issue do you have with that?
Well, this is profoundly disturbing. I mean, this is the state basically coming in and trying to regulate religion. We're very concerned about this, the idea that it singles out Canadian imams and really it vilifies them as a source of potential radicalization, when what we know is that study after study shows that the more people know about Islam, the more likely they are to be able to avoid radicalization, and imams can be a key tool in that fight. So really you're vilifying one of your best tools in combating this ideology of radicalization, and that also has a ripple effect. It's felt through the community. There's a sense of alienation that builds and mistrust, and it plays into the narrative of violent extremists who say that, look, you are being persecuted in the West, and you're not welcome. No matter how much you try, you can't integrate. So it actually plays into that, and when violent extremists see this, they're going to be able to use this again as more propaganda to target our most vulnerable.
Right. So it goes around and around.
It goes around and around, yeah. Is
there any, I have to ask this, what kind of oversight is there now to, if imams are coming from other places to Canada on the views that they might bring to Canada?
Right. Well, in terms of the views that they bring to Canada, I mean, we already have regulations and laws in place which govern criminal actions and promoting terrorism. So I think that, that is something that is already existing. So this report is really redundant on many fronts in that, it's trying to criminalize things, many things that are already criminals, promoting terrorism and so forth. It also is contradictory, Lucy, in the sense that on a couple of points as examples. One, it says that police authorities, law enforcement authorities shouldn't be stigmatizing and marginalizing minority communities, and then it turns around in the same report and criticizes them for using language that they're trying to use to more effectively describe the threat that we together face and to contextualize it, which again, it doesn't make sense. And then another example of contradiction is that it talks about prison chaplains. And what we know, for example, that this is a government that actually pulled funding from prison chaplaincy programs. So it seems here, Lucy, like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
So from talking to members of your community, what message do you think this report sends to Muslims in Canada?
Well, I think Canadian Muslims and our fellow citizens of other faith traditions are going to see this report, and I'm confident that they'll really see it for what it is. And this seems to be like a tool for electioneering. We can't divorce ourselves from the fact that we are in an election year. The government knows that it can't really campaign as being the prudent steward of the public purse, given that the economy is tanking, the oil prices are down, dollar is sinking, and we know that using security and ramping up fear is an effective tool. We know that this works. So it's unfortunate, but I'm hopeful that Canadians will see this for what it is when it comes time to casting their ballots in October.
So this is an interim report. It's just a draft report. What happens next? What is your job now? What do you do next to talk about it, to bring attention to what these recommendations actually mean to you?
Well, we're talking about it with our community. We've issued a press release about this today. We'll be encouraging community members to ask their parliamentarians and those who are running for office, what is their view on this report, and to seek clarity from them about the position of their party and their position on the recommendations in this report. But overall, this report really, it's not worth the paper it's printed on.
Okay. Ihsaan Gardee, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much for this.
Thanks, Lucy.